Good afternoon, everyone. This is Norvell Central coming back at you with another YouTube video. At this time of the recording, I have 904 subscribers, and I just want to thank everyone for all the love and the support on the YouTube videos so far. If you have not followed my Instagram account at Norvell Central or my Twitter account at Central Norvell, I have included a link tree at the bottom of the video description so that you can follow those accounts. My Instagram account currently has 11,915 followers. My Twitter account has 2,449 followers. And most of you know by now, I am an official SeatGeek ambassador. SeatGeek is a ticket app that takes the confusion out of buying tickets. They put a 0 out of 10 score on each ticket to know if you're getting a good deal or a bad deal. Green meaning good, red meaning bad. Plus, when you use my promo code NorvellCentral, you get $20 off your first ticket purchase using the SeatGeek app when it's $50 or more. So just click the link at the bottom of the video description so that you can download the app and use the promo code as well. Because, like I said, LSU and FSU, the game is right around the corner, so you don't want to miss that. But let's go ahead and get straight into why I made this video today. We are less than 2 weeks away from Florida State's recruiting event on March the 5th and also the start of spring practices as well. There was actually a confirmed visitor of Asante Samuel Jr., so that's going to be one of the NFL alums, and I assume there's going to be a ton more there. With that being said, there's going to be several prospects that are going to be visiting on campus. And there was actually a report this morning by a close friend of mine, NoleNuggets. I'll make sure to leave his link at the bottom of the video's description for his Instagram account. Be sure to follow his Instagram account because he does a tremendous job, and I think he has about 3,500 followers now. Let's try to get him up to 4,000 followers. But like I said, he provides a tremendous amount of recruiting coverage for Florida State fans to enjoy for free. And the account, they released an update this morning of South Florida Express, a 7-on-7 team. They informed him that they would be taking an unofficial visit on March the 5th and March the 6th. South Florida Express is one of the best 7-on-7 teams in the country. And he stated that some of the elite prospects, like the 23 prospects, like five-star DB, Cormani McLean, also five-star receiver Brandon Ennis, five-star receiver Carnell Tate, four-star wide receiver Hakeem Williams, four-star receiver Nathaniel Joseph, which that's kind of an interesting one because he is a Clemson commit. Also, you got four-star wide receiver Santana Fleming, four-star DB Damon Fagan, four-star DB Damari Brown, four-star DB Cedric Hawkins, four-star DB Sharif Denson, and also four-star DB Antonio Robinson, as well as some 24 prospects too that you got to think about, and that's four-star wide receiver Jamari Smith and also four-star wide receiver JoJo Trader. In today's video, I just want to focus on a couple of those 23 prospects that are not listed on this that I believe Florida State really has a solid chance in getting. And I think it could mean huge things in terms of building that momentum for the summer. And I'm not talking about the fake momentum that Manny Diaz had talked about before at Miami. But the first one I have on the list is class of 23 four-star defensive tackle Darren Reed. He's actually from Carver High School in Columbus, Georgia. And the FSU coaching staff, they really made Reed a priority early on in the process. And given that Florida State was his first ever offer on March the 2nd of 2021, the defensive tackle position is really going to be looking for some talented playmakers in the 23 season, especially after Robert Cooper and Fabian Lovett are most likely going to be departing. And during Reed's junior season in 2021, he had combined 58 total tackles, 22 tackles for loss, and 10 sacks. And he's very disruptive. He has a very high motor, which is exactly what you really need in Tallahassee. I do expect that this coaching staff will probably go after about 3 defensive ends and at least 2 defensive tackles just to solidify that line. And I could even see possibly 3 defensive tackles because it's that much of a need, because you're going to probably have Robert Cooper, like I said, and Fabian Lovett. You're going to have a guy like maybe even Joshua Farmer step up. You know, there's going to be guys that are going to have to step up in that role. And I think that Dennis Briggs might slide over to the box position, and maybe Sean Bray Jackson can step up, Malcolm Ray. Any of those guys could probably step up and be all right there. But let's go ahead and get to the second prospect that I have on the list, and that's class of 23 three-star defensive back Jamari Anglin Jr. He's actually from Lake Wells High School in Lake Wells, Florida, and he actually received an offer early on from Florida State. It was about January the 8th of 2022, so it hasn't been that long ago. And the Seminoles, they've been pursuing hard ever since. And ironically enough, he actually is cousins with former Florida State defensive back Derwin James Jr., And he's considered Florida State a dream school. And, as when you have a family member like that, you've been around the game and you've been around watching Florida State for so long, and then you finally got your opportunity to get offered. That was a huge moment for him. And recruiting databases, they're starting to catch on to his skill set. And he just recently got a 3-star rating by Rivals.com. So that was really big for him because he was unranked for a while there. And I'm very unsure as to why it took so long for him to get offered, because during his junior season, he had 83 total tackles, 30 pass deflections, and 5 interceptions. And I can envision him being a really talented defender and possibly even emerge as a top 5 defensive back in the country. And I really think he's going to play the safety position at the next level, at the collegiate level. And I'm very excited to see how he pans out. He's got great ball skills. I think he plays the football very well. He's a sure tackler in space and can really do a lot of things with the football. And very excited. He even played a little bit of receiver. I think he had about 300 yards receiving and about 5 touchdowns. He played both sides of the ball. So very talented kid. He's about 6'2", 200 pounds. So I'm really excited to see how that pans out. And you really have to think at the safety position for next season, you got Jamie Robinson, and you're looking at maybe Akeem Dent as being your 2 starters at the safety position. And I know you have Sam McCall and you have Azariah Thomas. They're going to start out at cornerback, and we'll see how that plays out. But, I mean, you can never have enough elite safety talents and prospects. And I know they want to take a chance on some elite defenders. And I just know that they want to add a lot of great, talented playmakers on that defense. And the more you add, the better. The more competition, the better. So I'm really excited to see if they're able to get Anglin in, on March the 5th. And he's already stated that Florida State is a top school for him, and that is something really, really important for him. So we'll see how that plays out. Marcus Woodson's played a huge role in that one as well, and we'll see. But the third prospect I want to focus on is class of 23, 5-star wide receiver Jaylen Brown. He's actually from Gulliver Prep in Miami, Florida. And Florida State's wide receiver coach, Ron Dugans, he's now been given that 1-year extension to kind of prove himself, to get more production on the field from his receivers and also on the recruiting trail, because let's face it, he didn't have a wide receiver prospect that he actually acquired in that 22 class because Devon Mortimer flipped to Louisville. And, Kevin Coleman also had a chance where he went to Jacksonville State. So there was a lot left to be desired. Of course, he got the 4 wide receiver transfers. You got Micah Pittman, you got Winston Wright Jr., and then you also got Deuce Spann and Johnny Wilson. So there is a lot of talented prospects in the state of Florida when it comes to 23 wide receivers, but none are more talented than Jaylen Brown. And I expect them to acquire about 3 wide receivers at least. You got Ventravius Jacobs, and we'll see how that plays out because he's already a commit to the squad. And I actually think he's going to be probably either a low 4-star or a mid 4-star, somewhere around there. I think he's a really talented slot receiver. And I think that he will be a priority that Florida State is going to keep pushing to keep him in this class. But I do think that Brown will be at the top of the list. But the Seminoles, they're going to have some company in terms of Jaylen Brown's recruitment because, like I said, he is from Miami. And Miami Hurricanes, when they hired Josh Gaddis as their offense coordinator, that's going to be one thing that's going to hold him up. And, I've had many conversations with Jaylen Brown, and I think he's a really talented kid. But it just seems like that back and forth battle between Florida State and Miami is going to be something that he's going to watch throughout his time. He's visited Florida State plenty of times, and he's also visited Miami plenty of times. And I wonder how much this is going to affect with Florida State going forward. But he had a tremendous season, and the 5-star rating for him was really good because he did collect 56 receptions for this season. He had 1,033 yards, and he also had 11 touchdowns. So that's really impressive to see in terms of him being a receiver. He high points the football very well. He has tremendous speed to outrun any kind of defense that you have in front of him. And he's just a playmaker. He'll do whatever you need him to do. Put him on the slot, put him on the outside. Whatever you want him to do, he will do it. I mean, he is that good. And I really don't know. Florida State's got a couple of guys, kind of like I talked about before, with like Santana Fleming, and you also have Tyler Williams that you're looking at too at the receiver position. You got Hakeem Williams that's going to be coming in for a visit with. He's actually teammates of former Florida State Waves assignee now and already on the team, Omar Graham Jr. But, we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of good names at the wide receiver position. But like I said, we have to connect on at least 3 of those guys, 2 if you want to count just with Jacobs. So, you're hoping that Florida State is able to get those guys in. And you got guys like even Adam Hopkins from Georgia. I think he's a really good piece there. And I want to see Ron Dugans be able to really solidify that. And it comes with all these positions I just said with Anglin and also with Reed. I mean, Odell Hagens really didn't have great success on the recruiting trail, but he was able to get two guys that he really liked in. And then you also look at the safety position. We missed out on some defensive backs with Travis Hunter. Of course, he's a corner, but, you want to add as much talented pieces as you can at the DB position, at the defensive tackle position, and also at the wide receiver position. So I'm really excited to see how Florida State really, creates that early momentum. Because, yes, early momentum does matter, but it only matters at the end of the recruiting session. Whenever you're at that early signing period and they're actually signing on the dotted line, you need to be able to convert that. And I want to see the staff finish because that's the one thing that you have. But the problem is the last 5 seasons have not been great and have not been up to par. So what you have to do in this term, you have to build relationships early on. You have to develop these kids and really give them a sense of belief. You have to start out early. We talked about the importance of having that 1-0 start against Duquesne and then go into LSU. If you go 2-0 and you beat LSU and you have recruits really talking about that game, you have a bye week and then you have Louisville, that would be huge. I mean, you're talking about a really good momentum push, and I think Florida State is really angling towards that. And they're no longer saying, hey, we're just trying to be the best we can be and we're trying to get to those 5 or 6 wins. I understand that the realistic expectation is 6 or 7 wins right now, but if this staff is able to pull off an 8 or a 9 win season, this recruiting class can get really, really scary. But I just want to thank everyone for watching the video, basically highlighting these 3 prospects. And I hope you really enjoyed my video basically discussing my thoughts on the recruiting process so far. Be sure to leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts on the video. And I hope you all have a great rest of the day. And as always, go Noles.